670theanswer.com, flagship station for all of Salem media. Mike Davis is the man. I got to always give Mike credit. He is the founder of Article 3 Project, but he is a former law clerk for Justice Neil Gorsuch, former chief counsel for nominations for the U.S. Senate Committee on the Judiciary. Mike, welcome back to the show. Thank you for taking the time, sir.
Thank you for having me back on.
Mike, you know what? I heard some inside stuff, and I like to protect confidences, but boy, you're working hard on the inside. I want to thank you for that on the air, my brother. Thank you, man, because it's a lot. It's a lot to do. There's so much what seems to be corruption. If it's not corruption, they skirt the line, putting these errant judges in, and then you're reaching out to certain people who could really just revolutionize the swamp, and then you're getting some pushback, but you keep the fight. It's tough in Washington, just to make sense of it all, Mike Davis, and all you're trying to do is do truth, justice, and the American way, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been fighting for this for many years. I want judges who are bold and fearless, who are going to follow the law, who are going to follow the Constitution, and not cave to appease the left. And that's what we've been doing at the Article 3 Project now for 6 years. And we're going to continue to do this for the next 3 years of the Trump administration. I mean, I always say this: President Trump is our last hope to save our country, because if President Trump does not succeed, I think our country is cooked.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because I believe in that, too, and it's not dramatic anymore. It's right in our face. When you look about what happened in D.C., and now you're letting people in Afghanistan. And Mike, how does that happen? You get a free pass if you work with the CIA, and then they're part of Taliban, and we'll teach you how to kill, we'll teach you how to spy, and then let's bring them into America. Maybe we should second-guess all of that, Mike Davis, huh?
Well, we should second-guess not only the Afghanis who are supposedly vetted by the CIA to perform warfare duties for the CIA in Afghanistan. Maybe we should look at Afghans more broadly and think, these are third-world barbarian people who rape kids regularly, who abuse women regularly, who are awful to animals, who are awful to the environment, who are awful really to everything that we stand for. You would think Democrats used to care about kids, women, the environment, animals, but apparently Democrats think it's a good idea to mass import these third world barbarians into the United States, and then they wonder why our National Guard members get shot in the head. One of them executed, the other one shot in the head on the streets of Washington, D.C. I mean, what the hell was Joe Biden thinking bringing these people into our country?
It's so true. And this is, and now I like the way they're on TV. They're going, well, could we have a first-degree murder charge, and will they get the death penalty? I mean, in the old days, or if this was the mob, forgive me, Mike, I don't want to be dramatic, but the guy wouldn't even make it to court, for crying out loud. But now we gotta handle this guy so gingerly, this creep from Afghanistan who killed Sarah Beckstrom, this 20-year-old, this beautiful young gal, that's such a great symbol of America, takes her out, and now we gotta worry there's gonna be a death penalty? It should be a foregone conclusion, Mike, correct?
Well, and that's the problem. You never know what's going to happen in Washington, D.C. I mean, if they tried this guy in Washington, D.C., Washington, D.C.'s grand jury refused to indict this Democrat operative, this Democrat federal government employee who hurled his sandwich at officers on the street.
Yes.
And the grand jury refused to charge him for assault on a federal officer. I mean, I'm seriously concerned about what a D.C. jury would do here. I mean, there may be a hung jury on this case.
Wow. But you know what? It sounds dramatic that you're saying it, but it is so true. And let me go here, Mike, because I like when we post our conversations, you get so many followers, and because so many people appreciate the fight. And then when you reach out and you are on this, so impeaching these errant judges. This is the theme of Piscopo and Mike Davis all the time, because How else can you get these guys out, these gals out? For Obama judges, Biden judges, and then, oh my gosh, let's resurrect the Clinton judge to make a bad decision. I mean, it's ongoing. And so when you go in on Article 3, you go in impeachment toward these errant judges, correct? Which is got to be a 24-hour job these days.
Yeah, I mean, I have never called for an impeachment of a federal judge before. It wasn't until Boasberg. Remember, he's the one who, this Obama judge who ordered planes turned around during the middle of a military operation exposing the operation. I mean, this guy's insane.
Yep.
So the impeachment standard for judges, I think, under the Constitution, is bad behavior. But I think what that really means is the judge's order is really lawless. And it's really dangerous, right? And it maybe even if there's a pattern of it, and you got all of that with Jeb Boasberg. He ordered planes turned around, exposing an ongoing military operation, endangering our military and law enforcement, intel lives. We have Jeb Boasberg. We had that crazy woman from New York City come down to the White House after she made gruesome death threats against President Trump. They caught her outside of the White House with a knife. The magistrate judge, the whack job magistrate judge, at least had the sense to put her in jail, pretrial detention, and Boasberg overruled the magistrate judge and said, no, we're going to let out this woman because apparently she's, a freedom fighter for Jeb Boasberg and she's trying to kill President Trump. And it's lawlessness after lawlessness after lawlessness, extreme dangerous, extreme dangerous, extreme dangerous. And so that's why the Article 3 project is called for the impeachment of Jeb Boasberg. Jeb Boasberg really didn't get the Congress's attention until these 8 senators found out that Jeb Boasberg, actually, after 8 years of weaponization of law enforcement and intel agencies against Trump, his aides, his allies, his supporters, they spied on Trump as a candidate, they spied on him as president. The senators finally got fed up with Boasberg when Jeb Boasberg illegally allowed Jack Smith to spy on them. He spied on these senators, and he had a gag order, so the government couldn't tell the senators, and that's a direct violation of federal statute. So now they finally got Congress's attention with Jeb Boasberg.
Yeah, so true. Now, how do you find lawyers, Mike Davis? How does Article 3 find lawyers to go and fight and fight in the enemy territory, which is like Washington, D.C.? I mean, how do you find lawyers around the country to fight that, sir?
Well, we're lean and mean, and so we have about 8 of us working at the Article 3 project, and we have 4 lawyers. It's me, Will Chamberlain, and Josh Hammer, and then we have actually 2 more lawyers. So we have 5 lawyers total, and we are we punch way above our weight class, and we're not pissing away money at the Article 3 project. We raise just the money that people can afford to give us, and we're lean and mean. We don't spend a bunch of money on office space. We don't spend it on TV ads. We spend it on doing hard-hitting research and hard-hitting opinion pieces, hard-hitting social media posts. We do a lot of earned media like on your show. And like I said, we punch way above our weight class, and we deliver results for President Trump and the American people.
You really do. You were the one that remember we talked about Fannie Willis down there? She's done. They threw that case out down in Georgia, in Fulton County, correct?
Yeah, and I just published a Fox News opinion piece on this. I think it's time for the Trump Justice Department to open up a grand jury investigation on Big Fannie Willis and her dumb, unqualified boyfriend, as we always talk about, Nathan Wade. Big Fannie and old Nathan, poor guy, $700,000, and he had to put up with that. But $700,000 in Fulton County taxpayer money going to Big Fannie's boyfriend, Nathan, and she's taken these lavish trips around the world, the Caribbean, Belize, and she's a Grey Goose girl, and then she goes and lies about it before the court and says that, no, she went Dutch. She paid Nathan Wade back in cash, and she had this cash laying around her house because her Black Panther father told her to keep a bunch of cash around the house. The problem for Big Fannie is she never explains how when she went Dutch and paid Nathan for these trips, how she ever had receipts to refill the cash around her house that her Black Panther father told her to keep.
Yeah, and this guy Wade, and thanks for staying with us, Mike. I like to flesh all these out, and you can't forget it. You listen to Mike Davis at Piscopo on the radio. You can't forget about these things. It's essentially you remember these things because they will do them over and over and over again. This guy Wade was at the White House. Nothing's going to happen to this guy. Did he not go to the White House and they planned on taking Donald Trump out? I mean, is that ever going to come to fruition? Do you think, Mike Davis?
Yes, it is, because I'm going to make damn sure it happens. I'm going to make damn sure that Big Fanny and Nathan Wade go to prison. And it's for conspiracy against rights under 18 U.S.C. Section 241. Yeah, Nathan Wade was dumb enough. Remember, he was the private attorney. He had zero experience, but other than he was Big Fanny's boyfriend, and he billed $250 an hour to the Fulton County taxpayers. And this guy was dumb enough to bill for 16 hours of his time to meet with the Biden White House, including the White House counsel's office, before they brought the indictment against Trump and 18 others in Fulton County. Well, Nathan Wade can't say, well, that meeting was not about the Trump case, because the only case for which Nathan Wade was hired as a special counsel was the Trump case. So it had to have been about the Trump case when he was meeting with the Biden White House. Otherwise, Nathan Wade was committing fraud for his billing. So he's either meeting with Biden and Biden's officials to plan the Trump case, or he's committing fraud. You pick, Nathan.
Yeah, and Mike Davis, before we let you go, sir, Article 3 is really based on originalism in the Supreme Court, along the lines of Antonin Scalia. Explain to us, those who aren't as smart as you are, sir, the textualism against originalism, please.
So here's how it works with our Constitution. The Constitution has a specific meaning, and the meaning is what does the plain text of that Constitution or statute, really, any law, what does the plain text say? That's textualism. And what did that plain text mean at the time of its enactment? So what did equal protection of the law mean after it was ratified after the Civil War? What did due process of law mean after it was ratified in the 14th Amendment after the Civil War? The Equal Protection Clause after the 14th Amendment was enacted, did that apply to transgender? I don't think so. I don't think the ratifiers of the 14th Amendment thought that they fought a civil war and ratified this 14th Amendment so transgender. So men can, go ruin women's sports and go hang out in the women's locker room. I don't think that's what they meant by the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. So that's what textualism and originalism mean. It's what did it say? What does the plain text say? And what did that plain text mean when it was enacted?
Yeah. So, and originalism that's a philosophy that Scalia always followed, correct? Antonin Scalia.
Yeah, I mean, and what it does is it helps prevent judicial activism. It helps prevent Democrat and other radical judges from trying to rewrite the laws to fit their policy preferences. For example, men and women's locker rooms. That was never intended by the 14th Amendment, I promise.
Yeah, amen. Mike, great work. Please come back when you can. Keep the fight. Anything we could do to help you, let us know. But thanks for all you're doing for this great country, Mike Davis. God bless, and all the best for the holidays, sir.
Thank you, sir. Happy holidays.
Yes, you too, indeed. Mike Davis, founder of Article 3 Project. He gets into the weeds a little bit, but makes all the sense in the world.